welcome you live to Bloomington North, where the Cougars will be facing the Columbus North Bulldogs here on Smithville Sports. Alongside Nick Jenkinson, I am Quinn Saturday. And Nick, we have a big thing happen last week, and that was Bloomington South lost to this Columbus North team, opening the floodgates that is Conference Indiana.
Bloomington North, Southport, Terre Haute South, and Columbus North are all 2-1. Bloomington South is 3-2, and they are done for the conference season. They play Edgewood tonight, and then they go to Chittard next week in Indianapolis. Terre Haute North is 0-5, so they're the only team that doesn't even have a chance for the Conference Indiana title. Of course, tonight you have Bloomington North hosting Columbus North, Southport hosting at Terre Haute South. Next week, it's Bloomington North at Southport, and Terre Haute South makes the long trip to Columbus North. So it is a log jam at the top, and what happens tonight determines what could happen next week.
We could either be facing a situation where on one side of the spectrum we'll have a championship game for the outright title, or we could be looking at a 5-way tie for the conference championship. So we got a lot of interesting football tonight here at Bloomington North. The Cougars come into this game 5-2, as you said, 2-1 in Conference Indiana. Columbus North 4-3, also 2-1. And as a tradition, it's a blessed day with Scott and Tim Bless, brothers, facing each other.
Yeah, Scott and Tim Bless, coaching brothers. There's a third brother, Mark Bless. Between the three brothers, 72 years, 455 wins, 11 sectional titles, 7 regional titles. Mark is the coach at Avon. He's won 82 games in 10 years there, 231 wins in 30 years overall. Coached at North Vermilion and Mooresville. 6 sectional titles, 2 regional titles. Avon 7-0 and ranked number 1 in Class 6A this year. And oh, by the way, they beat Columbus North to open the season 48-14 in Lucas Oil Stadium. So Mark could get the upper hand in terms of bragging rights for the brothers, but then looking at Tim Bless, 134 wins in 20 years at Columbus North, 146 wins total. He coached at Paoli for 2 years, so 22 years for him, 3 sectionals, 3 regionals, and then Scott's won 63 games here in 15 years, 78 wins in 20 years, 2 sectionals, and a regional. Not to mention that Charlie Bless, Scott's son, plays for Bloomington North, and then one of the assistant coaches for Columbus North is Tim's son, Tyler. So there are plenty of Blesses to go around in this game.
And not to mention that it is also Charlie Bless's senior night as well, as it is senior night for the Bloomington North Cougars.
Yes.
For a team that has had some pretty rough times for the couple of years, but this year has finally got to see everything turn around. They have already clinched a winning record for this season, first time in a while. Now we'll see if they can take that next step towards getting a conference title. It will be a tough one for them tonight, as they have to battle not only a very tough squad, but also rain and also the loss of one of their most important offensive pieces.
Yeah, Aaron Steinfeld is out tonight with a shoulder injury that he suffered last week against Ron Colley. Steinfeld, the second leading receiver for Bloomington North, Quinn, 30 receptions, 379 yards, 3 touchdowns. That means guys like Balin Murphy, Cade Loffman, Jack Recker will have to step up tonight in Steinfeld's absence.
And already the weather, as I mentioned, playing a big part, as they will face a Columbus North team that will benefit from the slick field, as they love to run the ball.
Yeah, Columbus North's a team that loves to run the ball. As you see the Bloomington North kids, Columbus North is only averaging 17.1, giving up 17.4 a game. Their biggest game of the season was a 42-31 win at Columbus East in Week 2. They've scored 14 against Avon and Roncalli, 15 against Bloomington South, 21 against Terre Haute North, and 7 against Southport and Guerin Catholic. Bloomington North is a team that comes in, Quinn, 200, outscoring the opponent 225 to 126, offensive average 32.6, defensive average 18.0. So it's a contrast of two teams tonight, with Bloomington North who's going to spread you out and throw, and Columbus North who likes to run.
Should be a very interesting matchup, as Bloomington North will have its hands full with the star running back Blake Hoffman, who's had a excellent season. As we are going to go ahead and have a moment of silence for our national anthem.
Here we go. And cue.
Excellent job as always. And now we get where we left off. The running back Blake Hoffman, 674 yards rushing on the season, 9 touchdowns, has been the source of the offense for this team. We saw last week where they struggled at times where North finally got worn down by Ron Colley's run game. How well and how important is them to make sure that they contain Hoffman?
I think they're going to have to stack the box. I think they're going to know they're seeing on film. They had Baron Hebler for Ron Colley had a big game last week, carried the workload. We see it in every game, Quinn, where you got a guy that always carries that workload. But the one thing Bloomington North's got to do, they got to protect Reese Lozano, because he threw 3 interceptions and was sacked 4 times last week against Ron Colley.
Yeah, had 3 interceptions coming into that game and threw a season-high 3 interceptions after a front 4 that absolutely obliterated them. And it looks like Columbus North is going to receive the ball first after Bloomington North won the toss and deferred.
And keep in mind that these two brothers have faced each other since 2005, and Tim has the upper hand, winning 11 of the 15 meetings.
In fact, Columbus North has won the last 4 meetings over the Cougars and has a series lead of 20-6. We are just about to get started here. We got ourselves a big conference game for Conference Indiana.
Yeah,
In a very rainy night.
Yeah, the weather is definitely going to be a factor. Columbus North won the conference last year. Bloomington North has never won a conference title. The only other time that the Bulldogs have won a conference title was 2004. So it is, like I said, there's going to be a lot of score watching tonight between these two games, between Southport and Terre Haute South, and this game here as well.
Kyle Trilling set to kick off here. It's finally looking like football weather here in the state of Indiana, as you can barely see the rain kind of just spattering down, as here is the kickoff as we are underway. And that is going to go ahead. Columbus North going to take a lane, and he's going to take it all the way to the midfield. He's going to the 30. He's getting past the line, and he trips up at the 20-yard line. Hunter Huser with a huge kickoff return, and he's a player who basically does a little bit of everything for this team.
Yeah, he's a kid. I think his older brother Harley we saw a couple years ago, had a kick return for a touchdown. He's trying to pick up where his brother left off, but yeah, Huser's definitely going to be one of the top guys on offense for Columbus North.
Taking snaps is the sophomore Luke Hammonds, as it is now 1st and 10 here, as he's going to go ahead and hand it off to Hoffman, go up the middle, and he's going to gain about 5 or 6 yards.
Just a nice run right up the middle for Huffman. Brings up the 2nd and 4 for Columbus North.
We'll see that a lot tonight, as Huffman has a team high 159 carries to the team. 2nd and 4 now here at the 15-yard line. Hammond's under center, going to hand it off to Hoffman, and Huffman is able to get down into the 10, close to the first down, and they will give it to him, so it will be 1st and goal. Already less than a minute in, and the Bulldogs already close to knocking on the door.
Have yet to throw so far. I expect them to just keep it on the ground and go to Huffman.
Tight ace formation, gonna hand it right back up to Huffman, and he is stuffed after maybe gaining 1 yard.
Good job by the Bloomington North defense to stop him on that 1st down. You know, that's what they're going to have to do, Quinn. They know it's coming to him quite a bit, so they know they got to be ready for it.
2nd and 8 as they were able to give him 2 yards. Again, they stick with the 2 tight end, 2 wide receiver formation. Here's Hammonds, hands it off to Huffman. Huffman to the right side. He's trying to get past a couple tacklers and is stopped at about the 4-yard line.
Good job so far by the Bloomington North defense, keeping Huffman going to the sideline, not letting him get up the middle.
3rd down and goal here. They'll mark it at the 3. We got the linebackers and the D-line all stacked in the middle here. There is a quick handoff to number 8, Royce Lofton, and he does not get it as he is a yard or 2 short. They go with a nice misdirection play, and were none able to get into the end zone. Huge 4th and goal now at the 1-yard line, and they're going to go for it.
Yeah, Columbus North's going to go for it right here. You got to get points on the board if you're the Bulldogs.
Hammonds is going to give it to Lofton, and they're going to, refs checking, and it is good. Lofton gets the touchdown to give Columbus North an early 6-0 lead.
Nice job by Columbus North. Royce Lofton that time with the touchdown carry for the Bulldogs. His 3rd carry of the night our 3rd touchdown of the season, 188 yards coming into tonight.
And here is the extra point attempt by Carter Ward. Here's the kick, and it is good. So just less than 3 minutes in, and Columbus North has taken a 7-0 lead. Big response for a team that has had trouble scoring this season.
They definitely are a team in the past that loves to put points on the board, but this is a good output so far. They had a great return by Huser. They get down in the red zone and able to punch it in on the ground. So good job so far by the Bulldogs, and we'll see what Bloomington North does in this series.
We got the Bloomington North last week were able to score a touchdown on their opening drive. Will likely have to do the same thing here. as Carter Ward will go ahead and get the kickoff ready.
You know, one thing that's interesting to see, Quinn, with the conditions tonight and the rain, it's going to be interesting to see how Reese Lozano handles. Does he throw a lot? Does he rely on his running backs? You know, it'll be interesting to see the play calling early on in this drive.
Ward ready to kick it off. And it fell off the stand, so they'll go ahead and get ready to re-kick.
And it's definitely going into football weather now, Quinn, here in mid-October.
Gonna reset the kick. And here we go. Nice kick. And gonna take a bounce and picked up by Bloomington. Picked up by Bloomington North, and doesn't go much, as the Cougars will start off at around the 20-yard line.
So we're going to see sophomore Reese Lozano come out. He comes into this season, or tonight's game. He's got 99 completions on the season, so he will hit 100 as soon as he makes that first completion the season tonight.
Lozano looking to bounce back from a 3-interception game last week against Roncalli. Trueblood in motion, quick handoff to Trueblood, and he's going to go ahead and get about 5-yard line. 5 yards. And man, what a drastic improvement Xavier Trueblood has made from his junior to his senior season.
Xavier Trueblood, the leading rusher on this team, 101 carries coming into tonight, 578 yards, and 9 touchdowns, including one last week against the Rebels.
Handoff again to Trueblood as he goes off to the left. He's going to cut and find some room and just get past the first down line. And both teams are already starting with the run game right now to try to combat the weather.
Good job by Xavier Trueblood. He gets past the sticks and gets the first down.
They hurry up offense, get back in. Lozano gets back in the shotgun. Now Trueblood motion to the left, and now he's going to go to the right. He's going to outrun the defensive ends, get into the secondary, and gets dragged down at about the 38-yard line. Gain of about 6 or 7 for Trueblood, the senior and the leading rusher for this team. Getting the play now as Lozano telling his play to the offensive lineman as he gets set into position. Gonna go ahead and back to pass for his first pass of the night. He gets suffocated immediately as there is the rush. And that is sacked by number 52, Nate Osterman. Excellent job by Osterman, and the offensive line doesn't look like it looks like it's a little shaky still from last week.
Yeah, 4 sacks last week against Roncalli. They've already given up 1 early here tonight.
Lozano now 3rd and 5 at the 35. Going to hand it off to, going to actually fake it as he's going to be able to break a tackle or two and get just to the first down. Did a nice option fake to Cody Miklich, the freshman, and able to trick the defense just enough to go ahead and get the 5 yards needed for the first down.
Good job by Luis Lozano to get that fake, and Cody Miklich with the Lozano with the first down.
Trips to the left. One receiver at the bottom of the screen. 1st and 10. Lozano looking to the left. He's throwing, and it is in and out of the hands of Cade Loftman. Good defense by the cornerback for the Bulldogs.
2nd and 10 now for the Cougars. You know that Columbus North, Quinn, is gonna bring it all night. They saw what Roncalli could do last week against this Cougar offense.
Murphy in motion, going to hand it off to Miklich, and he gets stuffed immediately as the entire defensive line gets a joint tackle on that.
So it's a big third down here for Bloomington North at the 44.
3rd and 10 now. 3 receivers to the top of the screen, and they're able to. It looks like we're getting our first flag of the game, and it looks like they were able to draw the Bulldogs offsides. So that will make it a 3rd and more manageable.
Yeah, this is definitely what you didn't want. Bloomington North racked up a ton of penalties last week against Roncalli, so that's what they wanted, to draw Columbus North offside, and as you said, 3rd and more manageable.
Loftman to the bottom of the screen on 1-on-1 coverage. Here's Miklich in motion. Gets the fake. Lozano immediately gets stuffed, and that is Osterman again, who immediately just barreled through the offensive line and took down Lozano, and that will force the Cougars to punt.
2nd sack so far for Columbus North, as this offensive line for the Cougars continue to struggle protecting their sophomore quarterback.
Nate Osterman, a junior defensive lineman for Columbus North, already having quite a day, as here is the punt off from Billings, and this is going out of bounds, trailing with the kick, and that is going to put it at about the 37, 38-yard line. And now Columbus North will take over.
And they get good field position again, in battle of sophomore quarterbacks with Lozano and Luke Hammonds for Columbus North. Quinn, interesting to see what Columbus North does here on this second possession. So far, they have not gone to the air. They have kept it on the ground.
1st and 10 here at the 35. He's going to hand it off to Huffman, and he is he's going to go to the right side and get about 3 or 4.
And that's what he likes to do, Quinn. He likes to go to that right side of the field, and he's going to be a guy that's going to get you at 3 or 4 yards every time.
2nd and 10, still have not had a pass from Hammonds. Very interesting to see the two, as you mentioned, 2 sophomore quarterbacks, and how they have 2 very different roles as the team's quarterback.
Yeah, Hammonds on the season is a kid. He has thrown for just 507 yards. 2 times he's been over 100 yards this season, where Lozano is already over 1,000 for the season.
2nd and 6, again, handoff to Huffman, and Huffman is going to get to the 45-yard line, going to set up 3rd and short. And Huffman again with the carry.
As again, big 3rd and 1 now for Columbus North. Bloomington North's got to put a stop to them. You know, we talked a couple years ago about how Bloomington North couldn't get them off the field. This would be huge right here.
Hammonds hands it off to Huffman, who tries to sneak through, and it's going to depend on the spot whether or not he's given the first down. It's just very close.
It doesn't look like from up here he got it, but they're going to take a measurement.
Looks like they're going to give him a fairly decent spot as they measure it. As they're going to go ahead and stop the clock to go ahead and do that. Surprised that they didn't do what they did at the goal line and get Lofton in on the misdirection.
Yeah, Lofton's only had that 1 carry so far for the touchdown for the Bulldogs. It's been Huffman the rest of the night so far, and they are going to give him the first down, so Columbus North fresh set of downs.
Huge job by the Columbus North Bulldogs. Keep those chains moving and keep the clock moving. 1st and 10 now. Receiver on the both sides. Hammonds going to hand it off a stretch play to Huffman, and he's going to get maybe 2 or 3 yards before he's knocked out of bounds.
A good play again by Huffman. Just loves to use that right side and get the blockers, and looks like they just give him a yard, so 2nd and 9.
Pushed out of bounds, probably pushed back a yard or 2 when pushed out of bounds. 2nd and 9. Receivers on both sides. Here's the handoff to Huffman, who gets stopped immediately by Charlie by Charlie Bless. An excellent job just stopping the backfield, and as we mentioned, a battle between Blesses, but it's the son who's gonna have the most impact in this game.
And he may, after the game, Tim may tell his nephew, hey, good tackle, but right now, the coach, Tim Blast, not happy about that. That big stop.
3rd and 13 after a huge stop in the backfield. We got shotgun, and Hammond's now finally going to throw. If he has time, he's going to try to throw it, and that is incomplete. That was an attempt to Charlie Winnick, the junior. My bad. To Giovanni Alejandro, but unable to get it, and a big stop on 3rd down for the Cougars.
Alejandro, 7 receptions for 51 yards coming into tonight, and like we said, Quinn, Bloomington North forces a punt here by Columbus North.
Punt is set up. Here is the kick as they decide to go ahead and take this and get the fair catch immediately. Is number 21, Isaac Venzel. And now Reese Lozano and the offense will set up here and try again.
Yeah, Lozano was still looking for that first completion of the night that would put him at 100 completions for the season. Again, no Aaron Steinfeld tonight, but you still got a lot of weapons with Murphy and Loffman and Recker.
Yeah, plenty of talent still on this offense as we are 1st and 10. Miklich in the backfield, going to take the handoff, run straight ahead, and get a yard.
Miklich, just a freshman, comes in with 442 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns.
Been a very bright and young backfield for the Cougars. As Lozano tells the play to the offensive line, 2nd and 8. Has Murphy in motion, hands it off to Miklich, and he is going to gain about 2 or 3 yards up the middle.
Just trying to get some yards here, a 3rd and 3, so a 3rd and manageable for the Cougars.
Big 3rd down here as the rain continues to fall.
Temperature's about 50 degrees right now, too.
Trips at the bottom. Looking back over to the sideline now as he looks like he's going to change up the play. 13 seconds left on the play clock. He's going to hand it off to Miklich, and he is not going to get it. He's going to be about a yard and a half short.
Yeah, Columbus North defense comes up big here, forces another 3 and out against Bloomington North. This is a time where you can put more points on the board if you're Columbus North. You're going to have about a minute and a half here to operate this offense before the first quarter ends.
Kyle Trilling back for the punt as an all-out blitz. Almost gets to it, but he's able to get it away. And it's going to take a nice bounce for Bloomington North, but still is going to give Columbus North good field position as it's going to be downed at about the 38-yard line.
Good field position for Columbus North. That's kind of where they've started all night, Quinn, is about that 35, 36-yard line. So got a minute and 20 to operate this offense here in this first quarter.
Columbus North been run so far tonight with the last play being a pass from Hammonds that was incomplete. We'll see what they go with here. We got a man in motion now. That is number 8, Lofton. And that is a illegal motion. It looks like you're going to be an illegal motion against Lofton, and that's going to push him back 5 yards.
That's not the penalty that you want to have. That's their second penalty so far in this game.
First and 15 now here at the 32-yard line. May force Hammonds to have to throw as he is under center. Gonna hand it off to Huffman. Gonna go up the middle, and he gets taken down. Gonna get maybe a yard on the play.
2 seniors on that tackle, Quinn. Charlie Bless and Noah Ponce. 17 Cougar seniors honored tonight before this game.
2nd and 14 after Huffman was given a yard. Slow to get to the line of scrimmage, as got receivers on both ends. Gonna hand it off, gets a play action, and rolls out to the right. Hammond's gonna run for it. He gets a block, and he's able to get about half of what he needs back, as he's gonna get this and make this 3rd and manageable.
And they keep Hammonds inbound, so this clock keeps running.
Hammond's excellent job with the play action, and the 3rd and 6. Hammonds can run the ball. He has run for 162 yards on the season and a touchdown. And we will not have another play, as that's going to run out the clock. Into the first quarter, Columbus North 7, Bloomington North 0. You're watching Bloomington North High School football here on Smithville Sports.
Life's busy and you can't be everywhere at once, or can you? Smithville Security is proud to offer the brand new Honeywell Lyric controller. With a Lyric package from Smithville Security, you can monitor threats from burglaries, fire, flood, and check on your home with our HD cameras, and also control lights, locks, garage doors, and thermostats from anywhere with the Total Connect app. Now you're in control with Smithville Security. Smart, safe, simple, Smithville. For more information, visit smithvillesecurity.com.
We welcome you back. Columbus North holds a early 7-0 lead over the Bloomington North Cougars. Glad you could join us here on Smithville Sports. We're just starting in the second quarter. And Nick, what have you seen so far from both of these teams? It looks like both teams have kind of stuck to the ground due to the rainy conditions.
Neither team really has thrown the ball. We saw Luke Hammonds go back on the play action, and he just took off to run. And it's a big 3rd down play. Lozano has already been sacked twice, so that Columbus North defense picking up where Roncalli left off last week.
Going to fake the handoff, and Hammond's able to break a tackle, but it's not going to be enough, as he is going to get maybe a yard or 2, and it's going to set up 4th and 3.
Yeah, Columbus North looks like they're going to stay with it. This is a risky move for Columbus North, going for it.
3 receivers, 1 tight end. The tight end is to the right. Hammonds now changing up the play, and he's going to go ahead and just do a punt, and that's going to get a nice bounce, as it's going to go all the way down to the 8-yard line. And the nice surprise punt has Bloomington North cornered right next to their own end zone.
Yeah, Columbus North looked like they were going to go for it, got it away, and nobody home for the Cougars. And that gives a very huge punt for Columbus North, and Bloomington North's going to be backed up.
Again, if you're just joining us, the tight end, Aaron Steinfeld, is out with a shoulder injury. So the passing game is down one of its big targets, but still has plenty to go, but still looking for that first pass completion. 1st and 10 now at the 8-yard line. Lozano looking to his right. He's going to throw it deep down, and that's Loffman, and he's going to get a juke, and he's going out of bounds right about the 45-yard line. Mark it at the 43. Excellent pass right to Loffman, and when Lozano and Loffman hook up, it's usually for big yards.
Lozano and Loffman on the season comes in with 203 yards and 3 touchdowns, and that is Lozano's 100th completion of the season.
Screen pass to Murphy as he's going to go get out to about the 46-yard line, as it looks like the offense started finding its groove now.
Murphy, the leading receiver on this team, 441 yards, 5 touchdowns coming into tonight.
Hurry up offense. Lozano in the shotgun. Man in motion. Going to get the fake with True Blood. Gets a man to miss. Gets a nice little block, and he's going to run for it. He turns on the Jets and gets the first down, but there is a flag in the backfield, so this might be coming back.
Yeah, he got a great block, but the flag came in from the backfield, and usually when that's a backfield, it's a holding, and that's what it's going to be, holding on Bloomington North.
And that's going to erase a big run by Lozano, as that's going to go ahead and push them back an extra 10 yards from the spot of the foul, as it is holding.
And that was a last week when Bloomington North 11 penalties for 127 yards. That was definitely something that was talked about this week in practice.
Lozano with 4 wide receivers. Murphy in motion. Going to hand it off, and this is Miklich, and he's going to run out to the left side, and he's going to go ahead and beat a couple of defenders and get back to the original line of scrimmage, and maybe an extra yard or 2.
Nice run by Cody Miklich, bounced off a couple of guys, and got Bloomington North back into familiar territory right at midfield with the 3rd and 3.
Able to thread the needle and get actually a couple extra yards on top of that, and now we're at 3rd and 3 at midfield, and the hard count gets the defense to fall for it, and that's going to be an offsides penalty, and that's going to be a first down.
Yeah, that's what you want. That's the 3rd penalty so far on Columbus North this evening.
And the second time that they've been able to get them with the hard count and draw them off sides. 4 wide receivers set. Loffman on one-on-one coverage on the right. Miklich in backfield, going to throw it immediately, and that is in and out of the hands of Dylan Barrow, the freshman wide receiver who will be getting some time today due to the injury of Steinfeld.
Yeah, just 3 catches so far this season for Barrow for 75 yards.
Going to be a very busy day for the freshman, as Lozano now 2nd and 10. Fakes, going to throw it immediately to Murphy on the screen, and he's going to get a couple of yards before being taken down.
Now you see Lozano starting to get comfortable in this offense. You know, he was rattled early with those couple sacks, but now he's finally started to settle down and look for his receivers and get this Bloomington North offense going a little bit.
3rd and 9 now, as Bloomington North is finally on the Columbus North side of the field for the first time this game. Lozano back to pass. Looking, there's a flag, so we'll wait to see what the play is, but he does get sacked. And that is a sack from number 55, Luke McDonald, the senior.
Legal procedure on
And
Bloomington
it's a
North.
legal
That's going to push them back.
procedure, potentially could push them back or could be declined. And it is declined, so it is a 4th down for the Cougars. And a promising drive where it started on the own 8-yard line, stalls out at midfield.
That's not what you want if you're Bloomington North. I mean, you have another penalty. They had a bunch of, over 100 yards penalties last week against Roncalli, and penalties right now are hurting this Cougar team.
Trilling will kick it off. He's able to get it, and that is caught. Columbus North going to go ahead and take it up to the 40-yard line and is taken down. That is number 80. Keegan Castor, I believe Keegan Castor on the return, and that's going to go ahead and get them up to the 43-yard line where Columbus North will start his drive.
Well, so far Columbus North, Quinn, owning this game, keeping it on the ground offensively and sacking Lozano on, and getting to Lozano on defense.
With an I formation with two receivers to the left, hand off to Huffman. Huffman gets a yard or two on the ISO play.
And that time he stays toward the middle of the field. He doesn't really go outside. He just kind of keeps running forward. And he just keeps kind of turning the yards for Columbus North.
2nd and 8. Have two receivers, one at the top, one at the bottom. I formation. Going to hand it off to Huffman on the stretch play. He's going to get by a couple of tacklers and get stood up at about midfield. Pretty decent run from Huffman, the junior. And now we have ourselves 3rd and 3 here right at dead midfield.
And approaching the 8-minute mark, too, in the second quarter.
Going to hand it off to Lofton, and he's going to get close. It's going to matter on where they're going to mark it. Looks like he might be short. And on initial look, it looks like it is going to be short. So, yeah, it will be 4th and 1. Maybe 4th and 6 inches.
Yeah, they're going to definitely go for it on this one. Right past midfield. This is definitely a no-brainer for Columbus North to go for it.
Hands it off to Huffman, but there is a flag immediately that stops the play, and it's a false start. And that turns an easy call to go for it on 4th down into a situation where they might have to punt it now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Columbus North continues to have big penalties that shoots them in the foot. Looks like they're going to still go for it, but you got to watch out for the potential drop punt.
They did the surprise punt last time.
And they're able to
there's
get
the flag. They drew them off sides.
Able to get Noah Ponce off sides, and that's going to get those 5 yards back. So now they're going to go back to 4th and 6 inches. And now, this time, after the hard count, they will probably go for it for real this time.
Let's hear you out there, Cougar fans.
4th down. There's the 49-yard line. Hands it off to Huffman. He gets the first down and a little bit more as he's able to break a tackle and run out of bounds at about the 45-yard line.
That was the play you wanted if you're Columbus North. You go to your workhorse, and that was Huffman, and he got the first down, and Columbus North in Bloomington North territory at the 45.
We are halfway through the second quarter at this point, or close to it, with just at 7 minutes and 3 seconds left until halftime. Both teams still have 3 timeouts. Hammonds right under center. going to lose the ball, and now he's going to have to run for it, and he's able to get back to the line of scrimmage and gain a yard or two, as he's able to pick up that ball and bounce right off of the field and make a positive play out of it.
Yeah, made something out of nothing, as that could have been dangerous for Columbus North.
They're going to say that he just came back to the line of scrimmage, as it is now 2nd and 10. And we have a timeout from Bloomington North. Looks like did not like what he saw. Looks like the coaches did not like what they saw from the offense on that setup.
No, Scott Bless adamant on that timeout play, or timeout, as he gets his team over here to the sidelines. You know, when we've had the first couple games were high-scoring offenses. Last week it was 19-14, Roncalli beating North. And then this week so far, just 7-0. So another defensive battle.
And you have to think that the lower scoring this stays, the more this game benefits Columbus North.
Absolutely. Columbus North only averages 18 points a game. Bloomington North averaging over 30. So yeah, it definitely is the Bulldogs' advantage if this score stays the way it is right now.
2nd and 10 now. After the timeout, the Bulldogs now in that ace formation. Hammond's under center, and with the hard count. And this has been a trend for both sides right now, with the quarterbacks being able to trick them with the snap count and draw them off sides.
Yeah, it's killed both teams. I think it's, 4 or 5 total between the two. I mean, it's happened to both 2 or 3 times each side. And
Two times for both sides, as it is now going to be 2nd and 5. Hammond's going to hand it off to Huffman, who's going to run to the right, cuts back in, and get tackled by 4 or 5 Cougars.
And that's what Bloomington North is doing now. They are going right after Huffman. They know what he's capable of, and they are now not going to give him a lot of room to work with.
3rd and 4 now at the 40-yard line of the Cougars, as we have a new running back in the backfield. And that's going to be handed off to him right away as he gets to the outside. And he is knocked out of bounds. That is number 26, David Jolly, the senior. Huge run by Jolly on the season. 20 carries for 82 yards. And right there, he was able to set a new season high on that long right there,
And
previously 13.
And your change of pace back that Columbus North can go to gives you a different look. And he got the first down for the Bulldogs.
Jolly will stay in the backfield. Continues at the I formation. Hammonds hands it up to Jolly. He's going to run up the middle, and he gets it right around the first down yard line, but there's a flag thrown right at the end of that play. Don't know who it's going to be against, as we will wait to see what the call is. And it's going to be holding against the offense. And that's going to erase a nice run by David Jolly.
Yeah, he's come in 2 carries so far, both big runs, but that one gets negated because of a penalty.
10-yard penalty on the line of play. Will remain first down.
Sets up a 1st and 18 now for the Bulldogs. At the halfway point now of the second quarter, with the Bulldogs driving, Hammonds comes with the play call, and Bloomington North set in their defense. Huffman back now in the backfield. 2 wide receivers in the I formation. Hammonds gets the play action, rolls out to his left, and he's going to go himself, and he's going to get a nice bit of those yardage back that were lost from the penalty, but is still going to be short of the original line of scrimmage.
Colin Weegar with the stop for Bloomington North. Nice run by Hammonds. He knows where his blockers are, Quinn. He's been getting good help up front from those blockers and able to get himself out of bounds and set up the first down.
Still has not completed a pass yet in this game for the sophomore quarterback for the Bulldogs. Second down. He's going to try to change that right now as he runs. He throws it, and it is going to be over the head of Alejandro, and that's going to set up 3rd and 13.
Yeah, he was on the run and just a good job of being able to avoid the blind side and throw that one away.
Pressure got to him on the run, and now we have ourselves a big 3rd down and 13 here at the 30-yard line. Bloomington North defense hanging in there. Been a fairly long drive. Shotgun formation. Hammonds going to throw a quick pass, and it is dropped. Was trying to get to Collier, his tight end, who has been his leading receiver on the season.
And that was just in and out of the hands of Collier. Nothing Hammonds could do about that one. That was just all Collier just had it and just dropped it.
4th down and 13, kind of in that in-between area where it's too long for a field goal but too short for a punt, as they will go for it. Hammonds going to take it. Has a bunch of defenders over him, and he loses the ball. And it is picked up by the offensive lineman, Dalton Kirk. But that will be a turnover on downs.
And a huge stop for Bloomington North, Quinn. You got Hammonds. Of course, it didn't matter. He fumbled it, and it was a 4th down anyway, but a huge stop for Bloomington North. And now opportunity strikes. You got the ball at your own 40, good field position, and it's time for Lozano and this offense to go to work.
First time all game that Bloomington North has started past the 35-yard line. So 1st and 10 now at their own 40. Lozano in the shotgun, Murphy in motion. Going to fake the handoff. He's going to throw right down the sideline, and that is caught by Loffman. A second big catch by Cade Loffman.
Cade Loffman stepping up in Aaron Steinfeld's absence, as you mentioned, the second big reception so far by the senior Loffman tonight.
Now 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line in the shotgun. Delayed handoff to Miklich, and he is trapped by a host of Bulldogs and will be stopped, and the play will be whistled dead, and it's going to set up a 2nd and 12.
And Columbus North read that perfectly, stacking up Miklich for a loss of 2.
2nd and 12. Jack Recker at the far left in single coverage. Lozano in shotgun, looking to the left. He's going to throw towards Recker, and he drops it. He had it just inside the 20, but dropped the ball.
Had it right in his hands and had it perfectly. It just dropped it. That's just a case of the weather tonight with that rain. Ball is slick off those gloves.
And that's what, when it starts raining, it starts benefiting a running team a lot more than a passing team as you get those slick balls. 3rd and 12. Lozano going to roll out to his right, and the misdirection to Miklich, and that's going to go nowhere.
That's going to bring up a 4th down and decision time for Bloomington North. It looks like they're going to punt this one away.
Bit of a replay of a couple of drives ago with their last drive with the big pass to Loftman and then stalled out immediately afterwards.
And so far, this Bloomington North offense unable to get even in the red zone so far.
Trilling gets the kickoff. It's a high one, and he loses it, and that is going to be picked up by Bloomington North. And there you go. Now they're in the red zone.
They get in the red zone, and a big recovery for Bloomington North with Caleb Sterner, number 15, with the recovery. And now they're inside Columbus North's 10-yard line.
Huge opportunity now for Bloomington North as the Bulldog defense has held them in check fairly much, but now have to come away with points somehow. Lozano in the shotgun. 4 wide receiver set. Fake it to Miklich, over to Murphy on the screen, and he's going to get a couple of yards on that screen.
Good job by Malin Murphy just to get the reset, get a couple of yards. Nash Johnson on the stop for Columbus North.
Sets up a 2nd and goal now. The receivers on the left have bunched more in now. We still have a 4 receiver set. Gets Murphy going in motion. Going to roll out to his right. He's running away. He's trying to find something, and he runs just back to the line of scrimmage. And actually they'll say that he did lose one. And now that's going to set up a big 3rd and goal. And you got to wonder, since this is the first time that they're able to get to it, how patient you are. If you don't get it on this play, do you go for it or you just take the points?
You know, Kyle Trilling is capable of hitting field goals. He's hit several this season. I think at this point, if you don't get it, you definitely got to just take the points.
And it looks like Bloomington North will call a timeout to think this one over. It's a huge 3rd down for both sides, as Columbus North would really benefit if they're able to hold Bloomington North to just a field goal here.
Bloomington North with 1 timeout left in this half. Columbus North was all 3 left.
Yep, 3:16 left, so gotta wonder if the Bulldog offense, if after this, can do a nice 2-minute offense here after having a more running style for most of the first half.
They've got all 3 timeouts to use with, so, you know, Tim Bless has, again, a full complement of timeouts and a lot to work with, but right now his main concern is stopping this Bloomington North offense on 3rd down.
Yeah, Cougars have not really gotten anywhere since recovering that fumble on the punt return. Set up here with this huge 3rd and goal. It is at the 9-yard line. Lozano in the shotgun. He's going to throw a fade route into the end zone, and that is caught for the touchdown. And that is the senior, Cade Loftman, with his 3rd catch of the night and his 4th touchdown of the season.
Big time by Cade Loftman to get Bloomington North on the board. As you mentioned, you know, no Aaron Steinfeld tonight. Loftman, 3rd reading receiver on this team behind Steinfeld and Murphy.
The 6'2", Cade Loftman, the next tallest guy. So the next person that you're going to throw that jump ball to. And here is the extra point, and Trilling ties it up at 7.
And that's huge with the Cougars on the board, 7-7 here. 3:10 to go before the half.
And we've seen this during our first time when we broadcasted Bloomington North, and that is Reese Lozano throws a beautiful back shoulder fade route.
Lozano on the season now comes in with 13 touchdowns on the season.
Excellent job by both. And Reese Lozano, after a pretty difficult game last week against Ron Colley, in a fairly rough start, able to get something going here.
Yeah, just a sophomore, spent time at the Manning passing camp down in Louisiana this summer. Georgia quarterback Jake Fromm was one of his counselors. They have become friends. Jake Fromm having a great year for Georgia, ranked number 3 in the country, and got a big one tomorrow, I think, against South Carolina.
Trilling will now kick off here for the Bloomington Cougars. This one is away. It's going to be a little short. It's going to be brought up to the 20, to the 25, to the 30, and down at about the 40-yard line. So, again, excellent field position for the Bulldogs. 3:08 left here in this first half. Here, tied up at 7. Has been, as I mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, Columbus North had won the last 4, and let's just say it hasn't been close any of the last 4 years. So a nice change of pace for the Bless Bowl, as a flag immediately on the run by Huffman. And this looks like this one will be going back. Oh, there's actually going to be a sideline warning against Columbus North. And they give them so the play will go through, but we have a 2nd and 8. Rain's starting to pick up a little bit.
Yeah, it's going sideways, if you can see on the screen. It's been off and on rain all day here in Bloomington, and temperatures in the 50 degrees. Supposed to get down to the mid-30s tonight, too, so definitely football weather.
Hammond's going to roll out to his right. He's going to throw, and it is caught by Alejandro, and he's going to get the first down. Excellent job by his top receiver.
Yeah, Alejandro, great job. And Hammonds, hasn't been able to complete very many passes tonight, but that time it was a beautiful pass to Alejandro.
Giovanni Alejandro, the senior receiver, also has over 100 rushing yards on the season, in addition to his team being the leading receiver. First down, hands it off to Huffman. Huffman gets stuffed and nowhere. Maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage as we'll set up a 2nd down.
That was Caleb McCoy on the stop, one of the leaders on this North defense, along with Charlie Bless and Noah Ponce.
We got a 2nd and 10 now. Huffman in the backfield. 2 wide receivers as under the I formation. Hammonds gets the play action, has 2 sacks, and Bless is able to take him down. Charlie Bless grabs him by the shoulders and throws down the sophomore quarterback.
You don't think that this is a big game for him, being a senior and going up against his uncle's team?
And that's going to be the 3rd and final timeout. Interesting as they will look to save a little bit of time, as that will be the last timeout for Bloomington North in this half.
As you see, Columbus North still has all 3 left.
And what do you do right now if you are Columbus North? You're at 3rd and 20 right now with 1:40, and your opponent is now out of timeouts. Do you concede and basically try to run off the clock, or are you still for better, worse wording, on the offensive and still trying to move the ball forward?
I think you play it conservative at this point. You know that you're going to have you're going to have, Bloomington North, if Huffman or one of the other guys can break off a big play, then you can run it out. But I think at this point, you just keep it on the ground. You don't do anything, because if you don't get it here, then Bloomington North still gets a chance to get the ball back.
Bunch formation, hands it off to Huffman up the middle. Gonna get stood up after a few yard gain before being knocked down, and that is going to be given a gain of about 2, and it is 4th down. We'll see the clock start to drain here as Columbus North will take their precious time trying to milk this as far as possible. Bloomington North does get the ball to start the second half as they won the toss and deferred. Here is the punt. It is back, and this is picked up by Isaac Wenzel, and he does not go anywhere. And that's going to leave about 56.7 seconds left for Reese Lozano and the offense to try to get something going.
This is where Lozano, how does he handle this minute offense? I think you look for him to throw it a lot to the sidelines, get out of bounds, and keep this clock stopped.
The passing game hasn't been challenged that much by the secondary of Columbus North. Huser almost came up with a run.
Watch out for Loffman. He's been the hot hand. He is at the top of the screen.
From the front 4. Here's a man in motion.
Wait till you get ready.
Murphy in motion. Here's the first down. Lozano back to pass. Going to throw the nice little dump off to Miklish. And he's going to go ahead, and he's still on his feet. And he's able to get a huge gain up to the 35-yard line. Clock stops with 47 seconds left as the offense keeps moving.
Yeah, they'll reset the chains, and the clock will get going here right now.
1st and 10 now. 3 receivers on the left, but Murphy now in motion over to the right. Fake handoff. Gonna throw it over to Loffman, who again catches it on that right sideline, just over the head of number 200 Huser, and that is another first down, and the clock stops again.
Big play by Loffman, his 3rd big catch of the night.
Loffman really having quite the half here, filling in as that big play, as that big body target in the absence of Steinfeld. 1st and 10. Now in Bulldog territory. Murphy in motion. So now he goes back. Lozano gonna throw it down the middle. There is Loffman again, and he is now in the red zone, as he just has a nice post route right up the middle.
4th big reception by Loffman, and Bloomington North just poetry in motion right now. 5th big reception by Loffman, but it is just a work of art seeing this.
Lozano immediately will spike the ball. No, wait.
That goes down as an incomplete pass.
Incomplete pass.
Yep, we'll spike the ball, and that is to stop the clock. And now you got 32 seconds, and you're within the 20, and you're within the red zone now. The playbook starts to open up a little.
Yeah, it's definitely been a dream drive for Bloomington North. Let's see if they can get it completed here.
Lozano in the shotgun with Miklic in the backfield. 9 seconds left on the play clock. He's going to throw the fade route to Recker, and Recker's going to catch it and fall out of bounds at about the 1-yard line. And that's going to set up 1st and goal.
You know, last week, Recker really struggled to catch the ball. He was targeted 4 or 5 times. I think he completed got 1 or 2 receptions, but that one beautiful this time.
Lozano going to hand it off to Miklic, and he's going to get into the end zone. And a textbook 2-minute drive from the Bloomington North Cougars.
Great job by Cody Miklic, his 5th rushing touchdown of the season, and Bloomington North in the lead.
And you got to just absolutely praise Lozano for orchestrating. He said that That's not a 2-minute drive. That's a 40-second drive.
And that's a sophomore quarterback looking like a veteran out there. Wonderful, great drive operated by Reese Lozano.
Trilling for the extra point, and that is going to be good. And suddenly, in the span of a couple of minutes, Bloomington North has gone from being down 7-0 to scoring 14 unanswered.
Yeah, this is a dream setting, you know, big, of course, conference Indiana standings right now, 4-way tie at the top, and all 4 schools playing each other tonight. So, you know, Bloomington North never won that conference Indiana title. They want a piece of it.
And they will have a chance if they're able to win tonight to keep those dreams alive. Also worth noting that Bloomington North will receive the opening kickoff here, so chance to really open up this game. But first, you got to worry about Mr. number 2 over there, Hunter Huser, who has already an 80-yard return already in this game.
Yeah, he's definitely capable of breaking the big one for sure, and they've got another guy back, so I'm pretty sure they're going to try to keep it away from Huser.
Trilling to kick it away. And yeah, he's going to kick it to the opposite side. This is caught at the 30 and going to break a couple tackles and get to the 45-yard line. 16 seconds left. Do have 3 timeouts. We'll see if they will try to run a hurry-up pass offense.
You know, the way that Columbus North so far with, I think they're going to just stay conservative, probably one run play on the ground. Hammonds may take a shot, but I'm going to say they're going to stay conservative and just take one play and go with locker room.
And yep, they're going to go ahead and take a knee here. Hammonds will take that knee, and that will be the end of the first half. Bloomington North shut out for most of the first half, but back-to-back touchdowns here as we get to see the touchdown by Lofton that gave them the 7-0 lead. Then Huffman getting stuffed in the backfield by Charlie Bless, who's had himself a first half. And here, again, the big fumble on that 4th down. And here is the huge punt that was fumbled at the 8-yard line, which did set up the first touchdown, as that is recovered. And right here, the beautiful fade route to Lofman in the back of the end zone to give them the first touchdown to tie it. And then Lofman have himself a first half. Just a beautiful run and catch in motion to get them set up, and then Miklich caps it off, the nice, beautiful 2-minute offense, as right now Bloomington North leads at half, 14-7 over Columbus North. You're watching Bloomington North High School football on Smithville Sports.
We're back in the historic town of Jasper to visit a landmark destination. Schnitzelbank Restaurant offers the full German dining experience. From authentic cuisine to traditional German beer to even a working glockenspiel, Schnitzelbank defines Jasper's heritage.
My name is Alan Houselman, and our family owns the Schnitzelbank restaurant. I manage the restaurant. I'm also part owner. My sister Jill is my bookkeeper in here, and then Gail, my sister, is over the hotel. And we're really over the whole business, you know, in general. But my sister Lori runs the catering division up there, and then I got my oldest son DJ helps out in the catering division. He's kind of over the trucks and things like that, and then he also is helping out with the brewery. My other son, Nathan, is over the clubhouse where all the weddings are. And then Shelby, like I said, is our salesperson, and she is Gail's daughter. It was a tavern in Jasper, Indiana for many years, and it was starting to fail because the building was so old, and My dad, Larry, took it over in 1961. First off, he just started out serving beer and stuff and a few sandwiches, and he noticed, you know, when a local place down the road would open up and they'd sell the beer for 5 cents cheaper, everybody'd run down there. After they did that about twice, he said, this ain't for me. Well, he decided to get more into the food end of the business. So he started asking all the locals around here for recipes that they brought over from Germany. And we still use those recipes today, but once he started that, he noticed those customers came back every week. They couldn't get that anyplace else. In 1971, the place had gotten so full, we were busy all the time, and so we built on again in 73, and then once again in 1988, we built on again. And since then, we've added the catering division, and we also own the Hampton Inn next door. We built this Hampton Inn in the year 2000. And the interesting part about that is the last 3 years, it's been the #1 Hampton Inn in Indiana. Well, we started the catering division in about I think it was 1994, and it really took off. I mean, it was something that this town needed. Most of our catering now goes to Louisville and Evansville because the trucks are rolling kitchens. We take the food right there and we cook it right there for you on the spot. We don't put it in a Cambro and haul it for an hour or something like that. So that became very popular. And how the clubhouse kind of got involved with this is that we didn't have our own wedding venue. So we were starting to lose out on some weddings because they did all their own cooking in some of these venues. So that's when we decided to do the clubhouse. So we had our own venue that we can cater to, and we also have our own kitchen out there also. Yes, most of our recipes did come from local families. Well, as a matter of fact, they all did. But these families did come over from Germany, and they were very authentic recipes. As a matter of fact, we still get German people in here today that said it's more authentic here than it is in Germany because they've become more Americanized over there for the tourists. But we went and started several of these recipes, and we still use the same ones today, and you're going to get a taste some of that good local German food. Well, we have a little meat packer here called Merkley's here in town, and they do all of our sausages just especially for us. So those are real popular, the worst platter, but the most popular item we do have on the menu is our sampler platter just because people want to try everything. So they'll pick out 3 items that they like or want to try or whatever, but that is definitely, our goulash is definitely very popular, the Wiener Schnitzel. When the Super Bowl was in Indianapolis, they had a sandwich contest with all the independent restaurants in Indiana, and we actually won that contest. So you're going to get a sample of that sandwich too today. We carry, right now, we carry about 120 different imports, but I'm going to say probably at least a half of those are probably German accent or Belgium, you know, in that region of the country. But like I said, we also do make our own beers. We carry 20 different beers on tap. And I'm going to say out of those 20, 15 are either our beers or German beers.
Hello, I'm Wayne Patmore. I'm the head brewer here at the Schnitz Brewery and Pub. The Schnitzelbach decided to do a brewery because the Hanselmans had always wanted to do a brewery, and the craft beer market is exploding right now. The types of beers that we have are a traditional American blonde, very light, low hops, very crisp. Then we have our German Hefeweizen, which is a traditional German Hefeweizen that follows the German Reinheitsgebot, the German purity laws. It has a banana characteristic to the beer, similar to banana bread. Then we have our IPA, which is a traditional American IPA made with Centennial hops. Then we have our American Porter, which is a nice malty, chocolate-flavored porter. We produce 7 barrels of beer at a time, which is 217 gallons. The beer that we make, we sell here at the pub, at the Schnitzelbach restaurant. Several different establishments in the tri-state area have us on tap, and also we are in cans at several liquor stores, grocery stores, and convenience stores in the tri-state area.
The glockenspiel that we have was put up in 1988, and basically what they are is a moving clock. They got 2 doors on either side of the clock, and they open up on the hour and on the half an hour, and they're moving figurines. Ours is about, they normally try to tell a story. Ours is basically singing the Schnitzelbank song is what it's doing, and he drinks the beer at the end. December is definitely our busiest time because of the Christmas parties that want to come here. But if you take the single busiest weekend that we have is we have a local festival here at Strassenfest, and it's the first weekend in August every year. and it's always German themed. So we get a lot of the people that want to try authentic German foods and stuff like that, and they want to try authentic German beers. So yes, that's our busiest, definitely by far our busiest weekend. And we actually put up a buffet with all of our German food on there so we can handle the quantity of people that come through here. We've always ranked in the top 10 restaurants in the state of Indiana, and we're proud of that. We've done that for many, many years, and we still are in the top 10 restaurants in the state of Indiana. Our hours here at the Schnitzelbank are Monday through Saturday, and that is 8 a.m. until 10 p.m. And we're not open on Sundays, and that goes back to the German Catholic deal. You know, years ago, people didn't believe in working on Sundays, and unless we really had to do it, we wanted to keep that German tradition up, and we have been able to do that. The only 2 Sundays is Easter and Mother's Day. We do open up because the locals asked us. There's no, you know, they wanted a place to take their mother on Mother's Day and their family on Easter, so we do open up on those 2 days.
All right, so I am here at Schnitzelbank with Alan, and we're about to try some awesome food. So can you tell us just briefly what we have here? And
okay, well, normally the people will start out with one of our German appetizers here, and this is our combination platter. We have 3 different types of sausages on here that are locally made. One is the Knockwurst, Bockwurst, and then we also have, of course, the Bratwurst. And then we have sauerkraut balls. You'll love those. They're more meat flavored than they are, and you won't get too much of the sauerkraut taste, but those are one of our most popular appetizer items. And then we have a pretzel that goes with it. Then we have Reuben rolls, and then the potato pancakes, which are pan fried, and all of that is very good. After you're done with your appetizer, then we have some of our more popular entrees. This is our German sampler platter. We have our goulash, and then we have sauerbraten. Most of these are kind of like your roast beef type of a meal, you know, that you get in Germany. And then we have the Wiener Schnitzel and the Schweinsschnitzel, more or less like a breaded tenderloin up that line, but except they're more skillet fried and stuff too. And then of course our 3 sausages again are Knockwurst, the Bockwurst, and the Bratwurst. And then we also have our Kassler Rippchen, which is like a ham pork chop. That's very popular here also. And then of course our seasoned sauerkraut, and then we make our own red cabbage. These are German fries, which is just a pan-fried potato in a skillet with onions in it. Very good. That's our most popular potato. This is the Super 46 sandwich. This is what won the Super Bowl sandwich of the independent restaurants a few years ago that some of you may recall. And it's just a bratwurst with sauerkraut, and then it's got a pretzel underneath of it, and then it's got honey mustard on the top of it. Very good.
awesome.
And then some of our other items that are somewhat German. This is about a half a hog here. It's our 2-inch pork chops. We only do those on Wednesdays and Saturdays. We smoke them for about 3 hours, and then we put them in an alto sham, and it's moist heat that brings basically it tenderizes it over them, and people love them. And then we also get we serve the finest steaks that you'll find anywhere around here. So we kind of get into more of the American foods too, and we also have seafood.
Awesome. Well, this looks like a lot to handle, so I'm going to have to pace myself. But generally, I'm starting with the sampler, right?
Right.
Okay. Which on the sampler plate should I try first?
I think you ought to try one of the kraut balls. I think you'd really, which is one of these right here.
Do you use your hands for this one or utensils?
Normally, I see most people pick them up with their fingers.
Awesome. Okay.
Mostly we put hot mustard in there, but if you don't like a real hot kind of deal, but I don't know, you don't get too much of a kraut flavor in there. And like I said, those are our most popular appetizer.
No, I like it a lot. Yeah, the sauerkraut's subtle, but yeah, I like it. Okay, that's awesome. Now, what should I move on to next on the plate?
Well, if you'd want to try one of the smaller sausages there, I would suggest. Okay, like the. You know, if you want to grab a fork and just maybe grab one of the Bockwurst is one of my favorites. Most people have had a Bratwurst or something at a festival or whatever, but most of them haven't had a Bockwurst. They're seasoned a little bit differently.
Okay. Oh yeah, you definitely taste how the seasoning's different.
And then our Reuben rolls have the corned beef and the kraut and stuff in them. These are our Reuben rolls, and you may want to just cut a piece off the end or something there. And then this is, a lot of people like the Thousand Island dressing or something with the Reubens.
To cut a small bite. Don't want to bite off more than I could chew. Literally. Not a lefty, but we'll try. I really
So-
like these. It's a really good combination with the Thousand Island.
Yes, it
dressing.
is,
Yeah.
and yeah, the Reubens really go well with that. And then the potato pancakes, like I say, I'm sure you've had a pretzel already before, but the potato pancakes are very good also. And a lot of people use the apple butter,
Oh, okay.
and they'll dip the potato pancakes in the apple butter.
All right.
But if you'd want to try, instead of something like that, if you'd want to even go, like this is the goulash, probably
Okay.
one of the most
Yeah.
popular. And it's, like I say, it's more of a German form of roast beef. And then we actually make all of our own noodles and stuff here too. So though it's the homemade, noodles and stuff too that really set it off. There you go, we can put that over here. With this one here. If you don't like carrots, you can probably push them out of the way and get more of the meat if you like. If you like carrots,
like
then,
carrots,
well
so
then
I'm
you'll
gonna go for it,
then you'll
but-
like that.
I'm gonna try to get the perfect bite for the camera.
Yeah, for the
But
get some
not
noodles.
too well. That's good. All right.
Like I said, it's like a German form of like roast beef. That's about the
Yeah.
closest you can get to
I
it.
was gonna say, I always loved beef and noodles growing up, and this is a very nice
Yes.
version of beef and noodles. Awesome. Okay, so what else on this plate do you think? we should
Okay,
try?
this is the Wiener Schnitzel, and
Okay.
that is also very popular, but you may want to take a knife and just cut off a little piece of that for you.
Okay. All right. How do I say it properly? Wiener Schnitzel?
Wiener Schnitzel,
Okay.
yeah.
Just checking.
And what those go well with is we actually serve that with the sauerbraten gravy. Now, this is one that you may not, you either like it or you hate it. But the goulash is more of the red wine sauce, but the sauerbraten is done in a white wine sauce, and it sours it a little bit. And
Okay.
but I love it. But some people, like I said, it's a kind of an acquired taste. But if you want to take and just cut you off a little piece there,
I'll tackle it.
but the gravy is very popular with our other fried items to dip, to dip them in.
All right. Oh yeah, that one's a little bit more potent, but I
Yeah.
like it. Yeah. No, that's
Yeah,
really
it's either a
good.
love-hate with that one.
Yeah. I'm a fan. I like it.
And then the other one is you tried one of our sausages, but this is more of the castor ripschen is served over sauerkraut, and it's going to give you more of a feeling of the ham if you want to cut off just a little piece of that.
Taking a little more muscle than I anticipated. Okay, here's the ham.
And it gives you more of a feeling of like a ham pork chop, and I like that. So.
No, I like that a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the seasoning on it too.
Yeah.
It's a little moist, which I like. Yeah, awesome.
These are, we only use the best cuts of meat here, and if you want to try a piece of that steak there, I think you'd really like it. This is our ribeye, which is our best known steak on the menu.
All right, and how is it cooked? Out of curiosity.
With a broiler in the back, and it cooks from top and bottom, so it really
Okay.
does savor the juices and stuff inside.
All right.
Anyway, those are very popular here. And then our 2-inch pork chop is here. Here, I'll cut it into this one here.
The steak is very juicy. Oh wow, this looks like a lot to
Yeah.
handle.
Yeah, you see more men eating these.
I was gonna say, I don't know if I would traditionally order this, just me, but
Yeah, if the women, we always give them a to-go box to take it home because we know they can't eat it all. And you'll be able to very well tell taste the smoke in here because, like I said, we put these over charcoal for like 3 hours, and then we steam them for another 3 hours to put the moisture back in them, because when you smoke something, it takes the moisture out of it.
awesome. All right. Sauce looks really good too.
Yeah, that's our own barbecue sauce. Very tasty.
Oh yeah, the texture is really good. It's
Yeah.
really
Very popular with
Smooth, yeah.
golfers after the ones that are really hungry coming off the golf course. They just absolutely adore those.
if they had a good day.
Yeah.
Or I guess if a bad day too, no matter how.
That may be the best part of their day.
Yeah. All right, so now that I've gotten a great taste of German entrees, let's move on to German desserts.
And the first one there that you'll be trying, this is a German chocolate pie. and it's our own recipe. But it's this one it'll put a pound or two on you. But I mean, it is very good if you want to try it. Do you like coconut?
I love coconut.
Okay, because it's got the German chocolate underneath and then the coconut on top.
All right. Very rich. I like it a lot. Yeah, I love German chocolate too, so you can't go wrong.
And then our most popular dessert by far is our apple strudel, and it's a recipe from Germany, and we serve it with cinnamon ice cream, and it is wonderful. Yeah, it is to die for.
Apple and everything, so I'm excited. I get the bite I can actually tackle. That cinnamon with the apple, great
Yeah.
combination. All right, so Alan, when can people come see you? What are your hours?
Okay, our hours here at the Schnitzelbank are Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. And yeah, you can come see us anytime during those hours. We'd love to see you. We are more of a lunch and dinner place, but we are open for, like I say, a late breakfast if you want a hot breakfast.
Okay, well then thanks for watching, and until next time on the Hoosier Foodie,
Auf Wiedersehen.
Welcome back to Bloomington North, where the Cougars were, after trailing for most of the first half, able to score 14 unanswered before halftime and now lead 14-7 over Columbus North. Glad you guys could join us here for Smithville Sports. I am Quinn Saturday alongside Nick Jenkinson. And Nick, it was an amazing half for senior Cade Loffman, who was a huge part of the Cougars' late turnaround in that first half.
5 catches, 119 yards, and a touchdown. Reese Lozano having what Reese Lozano does a game, 10 of 14, passing 154 yards and that touchdown. Cody Miklish, the freshman, 7 carries, 26 yards and a touchdown. Xavier Trueblood, 3 carries, 20 yards. I was handed a note by Bloomington North that he was in a walking boot all week. So Xavier Trueblood, you know, looked good to start, and Balin Murphy, 3 receptions for 5 yards. Blake Huffman, 16 carries for 40 yards for Columbus North, but he's been held in check here lately as Royce Lofton got his 3rd touchdown run of the season to open the scoring, and then it's been the pass to Lofman and also the run by Miklish and Bloomington North on top.
Yeah, Luke Hammonds, 1 of 4 passing for 12 yards so far in this game. Haven't really gotten to see much through the air tonight for Columbus North, and with the lead running back averaging only about 2.5 a carry, the offense, after a nice start thanks to a huge kick return by Hunter Huser, the offense for the Bulldogs has gotten only 78 total yards.
Yeah, Bloomington North has, you know, improved defensively from the last couple of years that we've seen them. They've been able to get stops on third down. They've been able to force the 3 and outs, and they've been able to force teams to punt. Remember a couple of years ago, they couldn't even force teams to even, it was the 7th or 8th game when they finally forced a team to punt. So, I mean, it's a long way where Bloomington North has come from the last couple of years, you know. They haven't had you know, they're going to finally have a winning season for the first time since 2013, 7-5 when they won the sectional in 2013. So it's been a while for Bloomington North to finally get back to winning football.
We have a couple of halftime scores from around Conference Indiana, as well as a game that is pretty close to us, as we have Edgewood and Bloomington South playing tonight as well.
Edgewood and Bloomington South playing for the first time since 1992. They played for 10 years. South 9-1 against Edgewood, and Edgewood won that season opener and 84-14-12. Right now it's 20-0 at halftime. Bloomington South leads. Southport and Terre Haute South, it is, I want to say 21-3 at half. Southport's ahead, so if Southport and Bloomington North are able to hold on and win, that sets up the Conference Indiana Championship match between Southport and Bloomington North next week at Southport.
Yeah, absolutely. So many different ways that this can go, and wouldn't it be absolutely perfect for Bloomington North if they could get if they're able to win tonight, if they have a chance to just get an outright conference title.
It would be awesome, and just a reminder, next week we're at Edgewood for the third place game of the Western Indiana Conference. Unless, I don't want to say it's official, but crazy things have to happen. It should be North Putnam and Edgewood next week. North Putnam is 3-1. They play Greencastle tonight, who's 0-4. Northview is 4-0, and is at South Putnam, who's 2-2. And North Putnam's only loss comes to Northview, and all the tiebreakers go North Putnam's way. So unless there is some bizarre, crazy tiebreaker or some scenario we don't know about, it should be North Putnam and Edgewood for third place next week. Will be made official after the games tonight.
Looking forward to that, as that will be the final crossover classic for the WIC.
Yeah, the final crossover for the WIC. You know, we mentioned the fact that the WIC has 11 teams with Cascade leaving. That was going to leave one Western Indiana Conference, our West Division team, without a game for next week, while South Putnam actually is already scheduled Heritage Christian. So it looks like South Putnam's out of the crossover next week.
Interesting stuff. As the kick is underway, we'll see if Bloomington North is able to carry over that momentum from the end of the first half, as immediately on the kick return did not go anywhere, as they are inside their own 20 to start this drive. Bloomington North offensively 178 yards in that first half, a lot of that coming in those last couple of drives. Here we are, 1st and 10.
Rain is still falling here on the north side of Bloomington.
Murphy in motion. Lozano, hand off to Miklich up the middle, and he's going to get a yard or two. The rain, as you said, as soon as the second half started off, the rain decided to pick up yet again after it took a nice little nap during halftime.
It's picking up, as you can see through the lights here at Bloomington North.
Lozano now in the shotgun with Murphy in motion. Hands off to Miklich. That's True Blood this time, and he's going to get a yard or two.
Xavier Trueblood was fairly quiet in that first half, and he's had the first 2 carries of this half.
3rd and 3 now for the Bloomington North Cougars. True Blood in the backfield. Murphy in motion. Lozano back to pass. He's going to throw. Caught by Recker, and he is going to he's going to be right at the first down yard line, and they're going to give it to him, and they will move the chains.
Second catch by Recker this evening. You know, struggled last week against Roncalli, but able to get right to the sticks and a fresh set of downs for the Cougars.
1st and 10 now. Zano changing up the play at the line. Has True Blood move up, hands it off to him, and True Blood takes a nice route up through off the right guard and gets a couple. That's going to set up 2nd and 7.
Right now, Bloomington North keeping this on the ground. You know, one pass so far for Lozano, but right now they're using their run game to their advantage.
2 receivers to both his left and his right. Murphy in motion, going back to pass. Pump fakes. He's going to go ahead to the left. He's going to roll out, and he's going to get the first down and more. out of bounds at around the 40-yard line. And that's always something you got to watch for. Lozano has the legs to make a play as he's rushed for over 278 yards coming into tonight.
Good job by Reese Lozano to get to the, heads-up awareness. He saw a lot of real estate in front of him, and he's able to get the first down and more.
First and 10 now up at the 45-yard line. Two receivers to his left and his right. Changing up the play now. 15 seconds left on the play clock. As again, changing things up. Down to 8 now. Here comes Miklish, who's going to get the handoff immediately right up the middle and is going to get about 2-3 yards on the play. Setting up 2nd and 7. We have a couple of freshman receivers in addition to Dylan Burrows. Lucas Alexander also on the field today. Seeing a lot of youth here getting some big playing time here for this Bloomington North offense.
Yeah, freshmen used to not play a lot in high school or at least play varsity, but we see it commonplace in all sports now where these guys sometimes can become the stars.
Speaking of freshmen, Miklish again up the middle, going to gain 2-3 more yards, set up 3rd and 4 as we are just past midfield and into Bulldog territory.
And this is key 3rd down here for Bloomington North.
Murphy in motion. Looking for him right now. He is going to try to take off and is unable to get anywhere as that is number 88. And that is number 88, Mitchell Collier, who was shut out in that first half. The leading receiver for Columbus North gets a huge stop right there as Lozano saw a hole but was tripped up as he tried to make it.
As you mentioned, Hammonds was only 1 for 4 passing in the first half, and Alejandro was the one that had that reception.
Trilling able to get that one off, and this is picked up right here by Columbus North, and he is going to get a couple of yards before being taken down by number 35, Cooper Macy. 1st and 10 now for Columbus North here, as we will see what they will do. Had that awesome 88-yard kickoff return that got them down within the 10-yard line, but the offense has not gotten going much.
Now they're going to set up with trips down to the bottom of the screen here.
1st and 10 for Hammonds, who's going to hand it off to Huffman. He's going to run to the left, and he's going to go nowhere as he just runs horizontal.
Yeah, big stop from Ethan Coy, another senior for Bloomington North. So all these seniors getting in on the act on both sides of the ball.
2nd and 11 now, under 8 now here in this 3rd quarter. Trips to the right. Hammonds in the shotgun. He's going to roll to the right. He's going to go ahead and throw, and there's a catch right there for the tight end, Michael Collier. With his first reception of the game, it's going to get him about 5 yards. Actually, they're going to give him about 8 yards, actually. Set him up for 3rd and 4.
And this is a huge 3rd down play for Columbus North, because you don't get it here, you give it back to Bloomington North, and that's going to give Bloomington North a lot more momentum.
3rd and 4 now, 33-yard line. Hammonds in the shotgun, trips to the right. Looking, throws immediately, overthrows Collier and almost intercepted by number 23, Colin Weeger. the senior almost being given a senior day present.
And Colin Weeger has definitely been a guy on defense that has shown up throughout the season. 58-yard punt return against B&L for a touchdown, 20-yard fumble return against Bloomington South a couple weeks ago.
And that's going to set up the punt now for the Bulldogs.
No can do for the first possession of Columbus North.
Big stop from the Cougars, as here is the punt.
Nice high spiral.
It's a high one, and this is caught by Isaac Wenzel. Gets for the fair catch.
And there is a flag because Columbus North did not give the returner enough room to even make the fair catch attempt.
But you see, that doesn't bother Isaac Wenzel because he's used to being covered man-to-man very closely.
Yes, a basketball standout for the Cougars as well as several guys on this team. Xavier Trueblood, Cade Woffman, Aaron Steinfeld, among the guys that suit up for Jason Spear here in a few weeks, as we are about a month and a half away from basketball season kicking off, and we will have, of course, coverage of Bloomington North and Edgewood boys and girls basketball all season long.
So that's going to go ahead and give them extra few yards. Takes an extra 10 yards. It's going to put it just past midfield at the Bulldogs' 49-yard line. 1st and 10. Trueblood back in at running back for the Cougars.
You know, we talked in that first half, Quinn, about penalties, and they've killed both teams, and this one bites Columbus North here in the second half.
Here's the screen pass to Murphy. Gets a block. Is able to get a couple yards after getting past the line of scrimmage. Murphy, for the most part, has been contained to just screen passes in this game. Leading receiver being held in check while Loftman has been able to get the big chunk plays.
Balin Murphy, the leading receiver on this team coming into tonight.
Here's another screen pass to Murphy, and he has space to work with, and he's able to get a nice gain right there as he gets the first down.
And they left him wide open, and he was able to find that hole, and it's another set of downs for Bloomington North to keep this drive going.
1st and 10 now at the Bulldogs 36. Lozano in shotgun. Trueblood to his left. Going to hand it off. Runs to the right and runs into trouble as he gets shoved back, and he's going to lose quite a bit on that.
Yeah, quite a bit of yardage. Good job by Columbus North's defense. Stops Trueblood in his tracks. Loss of 7.
Yeah, that's going to be a 7-yard loss now. 2nd and 17 for the Cougars. The defense for the Bulldogs trying to keep the Cougars from doing any more damage. Lozano throws, and that is incomplete. Intended for Loftman. Just a little too out in front, and that is going to lead to 3rd and 17.
That was a dangerous pass for Lozano. Last week he threw 3 interceptions against Roncalli and almost had one there as he tried to throw a bullet into Loftman.
3rd and 17 now at the Bulldog 42. Trips to the left. Lozano. Pocket breaks down. He's going to run for it down the right sideline, and he's going to get out of bounds about like 4 or 5 yards short of that first down. And it's going to be an interesting play call right here as we're going to get about 4th and 5 here at the 30-yard line.
When you're in that kind of territory where you really can't punt it, and it may be too much for a field goal.
They're going to go for it here. Going to try for that hard count. It worked for both sides in that first half. Combined 4 offside penalties in the first half. Lozano now back in the shotgun. 9 on the play clock. Here he's going for the fade route to Recker, and Recker catches it, falling out of bounds. And a nice redemption catch from Recker, who earlier in the game had that exact same pass but dropped it.
And he's done well. I think that's his third reception of the night, and he's done, he really struggled last week, but with Seinfeld out, he's got to step it up, as do all of these Cougar wide receivers.
1st and 10, hands it off to Miklish, who gets himself a little bit of a hole, and now the freshman is dragging bodies as he's going to get a nice 6-7 yard gain on that.
Good job right now by Cody Miklish.
Just to mention, Miklish is 5'10", 164, so a lot of strength in a small body. 2nd and 2. The snap looked like it was came a little earlier than he expected, and he is gonna run to the left before getting knocked down.
Yeah, he looked like he wasn't ready for that snap, and Miklish didn't even really move.
Yeah.
I think they were maybe thinking a penalty was coming, but it didn't come.
Still able to gain a yard, so it is 3rd and 1 now at the 10-yard line. In the shotgun with Miklish. Murphy in motion. Gonna hand it off to Miklish, who's gonna get to that line of scrimmage, and it will depend on the spot, but it looks like he might have gotten that first down.
Looks like he's short. He's gonna bring up a 4th down.
Yeah, they're gonna mark him like a couple of inches short of that first down. And it looks like they're going to go for it again.
But
Coach Scott Bless really going for the jugular against his brother.
4th and 1 at the 9.
Down to 10 on the play clock. Down to 5 now. Gonna give the sweep to Murphy, who's able to get it, but there's going to be a holding penalty that's going to bring this play back. Beautiful play call on a nice wide receiver sweep, but it looks like this is going to be pushed back.
Yep. Came in the backfield.
Call on the Cougars. About the 20-yard line.
Yep, and that is going to be against the Cougars, and that's going to push them back to the 19, and in comes Kyle Trilling for the field goal attempt.
Kyle Trilling so far in the season has made 5 field goals for Bloomington North. His last one came 3 weeks ago against Terre Haute North.
This is going to be a 36-yarder. Here is the kick from Trilling. It is up, and it is good. Right down the middle. And a nice make, and a field goal that makes this a 2-possession lead for the Cougars.
Kyle Trilling, his 6th field goal of the season. He had 2 against Greenwood from 30 and 22 yards, 1 against Terre Haute South for 22 yards, 1 against Bloomington South for 22, Terre Haute North for 32, and then tonight against Columbus North.
2:52 now remaining here in this third quarter. If you're Columbus North, you're happy that you at least held it to a field goal, but now you're 2 scores behind, and outside of a huge kick return, not much has gone your way.
No, your offense has not generated much of anything. You've had 1 completion so far in the, passing wise. Your top running back has really been held in check here, since the start of the game. So, I mean, if you're Tim Bless, you're trying to figure out what to do, and your special teams can only go so much, can only give you so much.
Special teams has been both a blessing and a curse for Columbus North, as a fumble actually set up the first touchdown for Bloomington North. Here is the return. and that is going to get to the 32-yard line, where that is going to set up Hammonds for the start of the Bulldogs' drive.
Yeah, this is a crucial possession for Columbus North now, down 2 scores. Coming to the late stages of the third quarter.
And something, as you mentioned, only a few completed passes so far for Columbus North. Expect to maybe get their top tight end, Mitchell Collier, more involved here in the second half. Already got him his first reception. Here's the fake, gonna throw it off, and there it is to Collier. And that is a gain of about 6, set up 2nd and 4.
First reception of the night for Mitchell Collier. Second reception of the night for Mitchell Collier. As you mentioned, Quinn, definitely opens up a different option for Columbus North.
The tight end on the season has 23 catches for 255 yards and a touchdown. Definitely a dangerous weapon through the air. Second down. Hammonds going to throw it immediately, and that is caught for the first down, and that is again Collier. As immediately they go back-to-back plays to their tight end.
Yeah, you got to definitely give them a different look if you're the Columbus North offense, and Collier right now getting the job done.
Collier now split into a slot position right now. Here comes Hammonds. He's going to throw the jump ball down the sideline, and that is caught. No, and that is Collier again. Huge catch.
Getting that in, that jump ball, like you called for them, is working for the Bulldogs now. They've got it in
For the tight end, as they are now getting the ball moving down the field. Here's hand off to Huffman, up the left edge, and he's going to get up a couple of yards.
gain of 3 with 1:37 to go in the third.
You know, they went away from Huffman there for a little bit to go open up the passing game to get it to Collier. But now I think you're going to see them go here on the 2nd and 7. I think you're going to see them go back to Huffman.
Second and 7 now. Hammonds back to throw. He's going to throw it. No real intended receiver there, as it kind of just threw it at the feet of a couple of defenders for the Cougars.
Threw it very low. Now brings up a third down. They're going to say the intended, Collier was the intended receiver.
Down to a minute 08 now here in this third quarter. 3rd and 7. They got the ball moving with a couple of passes through the air. First time the passing game has opened up tonight for the Bulldogs. But now they face a huge third down. Hammonds looking, almost gets sacked. Goes up the middle and is able to gain a couple of yards, but he's going to be short of that first down. But it avoids a huge sack that would have taken him near the 40-yard line.
Yeah, he avoided a huge sack that time. Again, able to make something out of nothing is Luke Hammonds. And again, another big third down for Columbus North.
4th and 7 now.
The rain is going.
Columbus
going
North
sideways again.
reaching 30 seconds left here. Hammonds. Huffman now motions over to the right. He's looking to the left. And he is going to overthrow his man. Looks like then there's a flag immediately on the play, and coaches on the Bloomington North sideline are immediately saying decline it, and that's what they do. Looks like that ball slipped right out of Hammond's hands as he was trying to throw it, as that was way overthrown.
Way overthrown, just a bad throw, and now Bloomington North takes over here at the late stages of the end of the third quarter.
18 seconds. Promising drive ends in a turnover on downs.
And now this is a very critical drive now as Bloomington North looks to potentially put this game away with a score or at least eat up as much clock as possible.
Yeah, you know, even though this is a 10-point lead for Bloomington North, it probably feels like a lot more because of the way this game's going with both teams keeping the ball on the ground.
We got 4 players in the backfield right now. Murphy now going out to the right. Here comes the pass right here to Wrecker, but it looks like neither player is going to get it as it is well defended by Hunter Huser, who's able to break that up. Or I apologize, that is Arvin Holt who broke that up. 2nd and 10. It is a handoff to Trueblood, and he is taken down, but he's taken down with the face mask, so that's going to end up being a plus for the Bloomington Cougars.
And another penalty that's going to kill Columbus North, because that's going to give Bloomington North 15 yards and the automatic first down. And you got an injured Columbus North player down.
Got a player down now, as the trainers will go ahead and look on. Check it out. Have the face mask. And that's, as you said, after we're fairly deep in their own territory, but that's going to give them some nice, comfortable room. Big penalty for Columbus North.
15-yard penalty against the Bulldogs.
So it's not going to be enough for the first down here. They're going to be short.
That'll take it to within a yard of the first down marker. Therefore, it'll be 2nd down.
We'll set them up at 2nd and 1 here with 6.3 seconds left here in the third quarter.
And now the injured Columbus North Bulldog coming off the field.
And that is Luke McDonald, I believe, who is being taken off the field.
It's good to see him. He's going to go off under his own power.
53-yard penalty.
Definitely huge. He's definitely limping, that's for sure. But it's just good that he's coming off under his own power. Cold night tonight here on the north side of Bloomington. Temperatures now in the 50 degrees. Supposed to get down in the mid-30s tonight.
And they're going to run the clock out here as that is the end of the third quarter. Bloomington North holds a 17-7 lead over Columbus North. You're watching Bloomington North football here on Smithville Sports.
Smithville Media has produced stunning and engaging features and documentaries for over a decade. Local interest stories, interviews, commercials and event coverage are all part of what we do. Let us showcase your business or create a commercial for your promotions. We can even play your pieces during our live sports broadcasts. For details, speak with a Smithville representative or email media@smithville.com.
We now enter in the fourth quarter here in Bloomington North as the Cougars have the ball here on senior night, and they're driving with a 17-7 lead. I'm Quinn Sutter alongside Nick Jenkinson, and first off, I want to thank Nick for letting me be the play-by-play for tonight. It has been an honor, and I hope that I've been able to entertain you guys. We've had a good one so far. Bloomington North falling behind early, but retaking control at the end of the first half and continuing here into the second half.
17 unanswered points so far by the Cougars as we start this fourth quarter.
Lozano going to throw it, and that is off the hands of Miklish, and they're going to call it another penalty. This is going to be pass interference here as Miklish was turned all sorts of around there.
Yeah,
Still on a dangerous pass, though.
Lozano threw it in double coverage, too, and luckily he's going to get bailed out by that pass interference call.
And Abe has done an excellent job tonight, but a rare mistake thrown off of his back foot. Never want a quarterback to do that.
No, And that's a 15-yarder, and it's going to put the ball at midfield for Bloomington North.
Bloomington North has driven up the field on this drive thanks to two 15-yard penalties so far. As they now start at the 49-yard line of Columbus North, 1st and 10. 4 wide receivers set with Murphy in motion. Hands it off to Miklish, who finds himself a nice little hole, gains about 4.
He just kept his head down and went straight forward, and that's a good move. And, you know, now it's Bloomington North's going to go into just try to run this clock as much as possible.
Both teams do still have 3 timeouts here, as we'll see a little bit of a transition where Bloomington North will try to slow things down, but we'll still keep up the hurry-up offense. Lozano calling out the play to his line in the shotgun with his 4 wide receivers, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Murphy in motion. Gonna fake it to Miklish. He's gonna throw it deep right, and that is intended for the freshman Dylan Barrow, but just a little overthrown and not enough space on that sideline.
No, he definitely overthrew that, and I mean, but a good play trying to just air it out here in the early stages of this 4th quarter.
Freshman for freshman as Lucas Alexander comes in for Dylan Barrow, as it is 3rd and 7 now. 3 receivers to the left, 1 at the bottom. Murphy in motion. Going to throw that screen pass to Murphy. Loffman tried to get there for the block, but was a little late, and Murphy will only get a couple of yards and will end up short. So overall, a drive that was aided by 2 penalties, but overall not much going.
No, and this is going to give Columbus North a chance because, you know, you're down 2 scores. You definitely have got to get something going on this drive.
Especially in that 3rd quarter, we've got to see Hammonds finally start to connect as he was.
But it looks like they're going to keep the Bloomington North offense on the field. They changed their mind. Going to go for it here.
Very aggressive play by Coach Scott Bless, as it is 4th and 4. 6 seconds remaining on the play clock. Down to 3. And they are going to go ahead and call the timeout, trying to get them to go off sides. Good discipline after some jumpiness, to say, in the first half. Excellent job by Columbus North to hold their position and not jump there.
Well, while we have a minute, Quinn, let's thank our crew, all the hardworking women and men behind the scenes that give us the sights and sounds of high school football every night. Jeremy Nutter, Sam Malloy on the cameras downstairs, Annette Berner and the Dear Noon up top, Rob Ramsey, Nate Alarcon in the truck, you and I doing commentary. Also mentioned Noah Barajas not with us tonight, but we thank them for everything that they do throughout the season. And not to mention, we're a couple weeks away from basketball season, as we will have Edgewood and Bloomington North boys and girls basketball all winter long here on Smithville Sports. Very excited for that. A lot of storylines going into basketball season, but yet football season is in the final stages of the regular season, and the state tournament draw is this Sunday at 5 o'clock.
And we're going to go ahead and get the punt off. Trilling does, and that's going to take a nice bounce to the 5-yard line, maybe roll to the 4 before it is finally touched down by number 35, Cooper Macy, who's been everywhere on special teams so far tonight.
Yeah, Cooper Macy has made a lot of noise on the special teams, and a great punt by Kyle Trilling to bury Columbus North deep in their own territory.
Columbus North will have to work for it here, as they got 95 yards to go before they get to the end zone here. We are at exactly 10 minutes left. Bulldogs do have all 3 timeouts, and Hammonds has gotten a little bit of a flow in the passing game, connecting with his tight end. 1st and 10. Deep in their own territory. Going to hand it to Huffman off the left side. Has some nice room. Going to get a nice 7-8 yard gain on that. And they're going to say they're actually going to give him 5 on that, so it's going to be a 2nd and 5.
He has definitely been held in check in the second half. I mean, he got off to a very good start, but Bloomington North's defense has keyed in on him all night long.
Hammond's in the shotgun. Going to try to throw it. He's going to fake it and then run up the middle himself. Excellent play fake. Not sure if it was a design run or not, but still, excellent job for him to basically get the defender who was going right at him to miss and gain some positive yardage.
And it brings up a big third down play for Columbus North. When I mean, this Bloomington North defense has made the stops on third down when it needs to.
We'll see what the offense has set up here. 3rd and 3. 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends. Here is the handoff to Jolly, who's in, and he is going to fight for that first down, and he's going to get it. But there is a flag all the way on the other side of the field. This might be a sideline warning against Bloomington North.
Sideline warning on Bloomington North.
Warning now. No yardage on the penalty.
I think both teams so far have a sideline warning. They're going to move the change for Columbus North.
Yep. Result of the play is a first down. Jolly again coming in as a change of pace back and getting a huge play.
Yeah, he showed it earlier in this game, getting 2 big runs. One of them, though, was called back because of a penalty. But he definitely brings a new look in for Columbus North.
Jolly will stay in. Gonna get the handoff again. And he goes nowhere, and the ball is popped loose, and that is going back to Bloomington North, and that might be the kill shot if Bloomington North can knock this in.
Ethan Coy, the senior, gets the fumble recovery, and it is a huge turnover for Columbus North. And like you said, Quinn, if the way this game has gone, if Bloomington North converts here, it could be over. And remember, conference, Indiana, right? The standings. This is a huge game to go into next week.
With 8:44 to go.
Lozano now with trips to his left. Murphy in motion. Going to throw it immediately. The screen to Murphy, and it is incomplete and almost lost it. As you know, a backwards pass does remain a live ball, but he's able to land on it.
Yeah, Murphy.
Almost a huge fumble the other way.
Would have gone right back to Columbus North. Murphy just lost his. Again, it's been a wet night. I think the rain has. It's still coming down, but again, those gloves, that ball is soaking wet, so it's tight.
2nd down now. Jack Riker by himself at the bottom of the screen in single coverage. Gets the handoff to Trueblood, who's going to get a couple yards. And that's going to set up a 3rd and 8.
Not much there for Xavier Trueblood on that play. We have a timeout.
And a Bulldog is down, so the clock will stop right now at 8:24. Quick reset here. The Bulldogs got a nice long kick return to start off the game, and were able to score a touchdown to take a 7-0 lead, and that's how the score would stay for most of the first half until a bobbled punt return deep in their own territory leads to a turnover, giving the Cougars short field, and they were able to get a score on a pass from Lozano to Loffman, and then after a nice 3-and-out, able to orchestrate a beautiful 85-yard drive in less than a minute to basically to take the lead. And since then, it's been all Cougars. Bulldogs have started to show a little bit of fight and some passing through the air, but things are looking to be going the Cougars' way as we are in the final stages of this game.
Yeah, 8:24 to go in this game. Next week, a big game for Bloomington North at Southport. Columbus North hosting Terre Haute South.
Trips to the right, and with Loftman going out far right. He's got single coverage. He's going to throw it to Loftman, and he catches it for the touchdown. You saw right there, Loftman escaped from the trips far out right in the one-on-one coverage, and Lozano found his man tonight.
Second touchdown reception for Cade Loftman tonight. Had over 100 yards receiving in the first half. Big night for the senior Loftman.
Here is the extra point by Trilling. It is up, and it is good. And that is now 24 unanswered points by the Bloomington North Cougars. And a beautiful, beautiful pass from Lozano to Loftman.
And just remember that Lozano is a sophomore, so we got 2 more years of watching this kid develop into quite a quarterback. I mean, he's already over 2,000 yards career passing in his first 2 seasons. I mean, he's going to shatter every record that there is here at Bloomington North if he goes the way he's going.
And we cannot sing the praises of Cade Loftman tonight on senior night. Coming into tonight, he's had a really good year. Only 10 receptions, but for 203 yards and 3 touchdowns. He's already caught 6 passes tonight and gotten 2 touchdowns. He has had an unbelievable senior night, filling in for a big hole that Steinfeld was unable to fill, having an injured shoulder tonight.
Yeah, Aaron Steinfeld out with that injured shoulder, but so far Bloomington North has rose to the occasion.
Fumbled a bit at the 5 and taken down. Doesn't get much farther than the 10 before being taken down by a host of Bloomington North Cougars. And the 10 and the 11-yard line is where Columbus North will start their drive. Now, just a quick mention. I had mentioned that Columbus North had won the last 4 meetings. In 2015, they won 42-6. In 2016, it was 51-11. In 2017, it was 49-0. And last season, it was 35-3. So quite a reversal right now as Scott Bless, after enduring a total of 177-20 against his brother the last 4 years, having a 17-point lead with less than 8 minutes to go.
And tide has definitely turned here for Bloomington North.
And here is Huser at quarterback here trying to throw it, and that is incomplete. Huser has thrown some passes this season. That is his 7th pass attempt, making him 1 for 7 on the season.
I wonder what those Thanksgiving conversations are like for, at the Bless household with these coaching brothers.
Second down. Here's Hammond throws the jump ball, and that is a little short, intended for Collier, as he is unable to get to it. Double covered, and that's going to set up 3rd down and 10. Collier a little slow to get back to the huddle.
Another 3rd down play coming up for Columbus North. Bloomington North crowd, a nice crowd tonight despite the weather, as these fans have braved this weather for this big Conference Indiana battle tonight.
Down to 5 on the play clock. see if they're able to get it off in time. Then they do, but it looks like the timeout was called just before, and so that's going to leave them with 2 timeouts remaining.
Yeah, each team with 2 timeouts. The play clock was going down, Quinn, and Columbus North had to get that timeout.
We got a timeout.
As we want to thank the crew again for all that they do as the hardworking women and men behind the scenes braving the elements tonight. Jeremy Nutter, Sam Malloy down on the field, Adair Noonan and Annette Bruner up top, Rob Ramsey, Nate Alarcon on the in the truck, and Noah Barajas, who's been with us all season. Thank you for everything that you do throughout the season, and again, basketball season coming up here very soon.
3rd down and 7, as he's going to overthrow it, and it's intercepted, and that is Friel, Matt Friel, who's taking it all the way down to the 10-yard line. The senior, Matt Friel, with a huge interception, and the wheels coming off here at the end for Columbus North.
Yeah, this is definitely now going the Bloomington North's way, and this will probably be it. And it's going to be a huge win for the Cougars coming up here in this remaining 7:25, and Scott Bless gets the bragging rights.
Yeah, I mentioned that that aggregate score of 177-20. You could definitely bet that Bloomington North wants to pile on the points here. Here's the throw to Murphy on the screen. He's still fighting for yards as he is taken down after a gain of a couple.
As this clock going to continue to run now. It looks like the clock is going to stop for an official timeout.
As they will talk with the officials to see what's going on. Timeout on the field.
We've got an injured player, Bulldog, on the far side there, and he will lay it down for a moment. So, let's take a break.
But we got to mention, of course, the state tournament draw is coming up this Sunday, 5 o'clock, streamed on the IHSAATV.org and on the IHSAA Champions Radio Network. Sectionals will start October the 25th, November 1st, November 8th. Class 6A will be off the first week. Most of Class 5A will be off the first week as well. There will be 2 games because of 5-team sectionals. The regionals are November 15th, semi-state November 22nd, state finals at Lucas Oil on Friday, November 29th, and Saturday, November the 30th. Bloomington North and Bloomington South are in Class 5A Sectional 15 with Castle and Evansville North. Bloomington North looking for their first sectional win since 2013. Edgewood is in Class 3A Sectional 30 with Brown County, Princeton, Sullivan, Vincennes, Lincoln, Owen Valley, Pike Central, and Washington. Edgewood's looking to host a first-round sectional game for the first time since 2009, or for the 9th year in a row, so, as we still have the timeout here. So it's, coming down to the nitty-gritty, Quinn, you've had 8 weeks of the regular season, and it's been a tremendous season so far for both Edgewood and Bloomington North football.
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to get an update on the Southport Tallahassee South game. We will let you know as soon as we are able to. As it is a 2nd down and goal for the Bloomington North Cougars. Murphy in motion. Gonna hand it off to Trueblood, and he's gonna get stuffed. Truba not given a lot of room tonight, as that is the third play that he's been pushed back for a couple yard loss.
Yes, Abram Trueblood has definitely struggled so far for Bloomington North with the, running the ball. Columbus North has definitely keyed in on him.
Third down now for the Cougars. Under 6.5 remaining. Miklich to his left now. Four right receivers. Murphy in motion. Looking for Murphy now as he overthrows him on the screen. He had him wide open for a potential touchdown, but just a little overthrown, and that will set fourth down.
Yeah, brings up a big fourth down for Bloomington North. You've tried to put this game out of reach, and you could really put this game out of reach. It looks like Trilling's going to try to go for the field goal here. He's already hit one earlier tonight, can make it two for the night.
This one will be a 26-yarder after hitting a 36-yarder earlier in the game. Here is the kick. It is up, and it is right down the middle. Good. Excellent job kicking tonight for Kyle Trilling, as the sophomore has made both field goal attempts right down the middle.
Yeah, great job by Kyle Trilling, a sophomore for the Cougars. Has done an awesome job all season kicking field goals. They have
Excellent job.
They have 17 seniors, but you got a lot of guys coming back next year too.
Yeah, we mentioned it all during the broadcast that all the youth that is on this team, all you got to do is just look at the backfield of Lozano and Miklich, a sophomore and a freshman respectively. You got 2 more years of that backfield.
Not to mention your top wide receiver in Balin Murphy's a junior, your tight end Aaron Steinfeld's a junior, Dylan Barrow's a freshman, Trey Candelaria on defense is a junior, so you got a lot of guys still coming back for this Bloomington North squad.
But the future is now for Bloomington North, as they are close to being 1 win away from at least a share of Conference Indiana. As that is kicked out of bounds, which will trigger the flag, which will give Columbus North good field position.
So we got 6:05 to go here. Bloomington North up 27-7. Edgewood at home next week in the Western Indiana crossover third place game, and we'll have that one for you next week. So it's been a fun season of high school football here on Smithville Sports, and we're glad that you can join us.
1st and 10 now. At the 35-yard line, Hammond's going to roll to his left. He's going to keep it and going to get a nice 6-7 yard run.
Good run by Luke Hammonds. But again,
going to hurry up offense right now. It's 27-7 right now as we are halfway through this fourth quarter. Do still have 2 timeouts remaining. Will need to make something happen immediately if they want any chance in this game. Hammond's directing his receivers. Looking, he's going to throw one, and that is way over the head of his tight end, Collier. Now stop the clock with 5 minutes and 25 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Mitchell Collier with the intended receiver for Columbus North.
And that's going to go ahead and set up a third down and 2 here at the 43-yard line. Got 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Hammonds rolls to the right. Charlie Bless almost gets him, and he's going to run to the left, and he's got room. Nice 15-yard gain for Hammonds as he gets out of bounds. And the first down.
Hey, he was able to elude the defenders, including Charlie Bless, and got that hole and keeps this drive alive for Columbus North.
Not only that, able to change directions from going right to left.
Yeah, very heads-up play by Luke Hammonds.
Again, with 5:16 to go, and Columbus North with a first down.
1st and 10 now at the Cougar 41-yard line. 3 receivers to the left. Hammonds gonna look to the left. He's looking for Collier, in and out of the hands of his tight end. And that is going to set up a 2nd down. But there is a flag on the field.
Secondary. Flag as they cover the ball, trying to keep a drive for.
Oh, looks like that. Never mind, there was not. It looks like they picked that
I
up.
thought that they threw the flag and maybe they picked it up already.
5:09 remaining now. Hammonds now with his three receivers bunched up. Hammonds has the blitz coming. He's going to throw it, and that is going to be caught, and that's going to be number 2, Hauser. Hunter Hauser on the reception. That's his 5th reception of the season.
And the first fresh set of downs for Columbus North, approaching 5 minutes to go.
3 receivers to his right. Alejandro on single coverage out on the far right. Hammonds is going to go nowhere as he's going to get taken down by number 30, Caleb McCoy, the senior, getting himself a nice senior day present, as he's one of a couple of Cougars able to take down Hammonds, and that's going to set up 2nd and 16 as the clock continues to run.
Yeah, approaching 4.5 minutes to go now, and a 2nd and 16 for Columbus North.
2 receivers to the left and 2 to the right. Hammonds in the shotgun. Going back to pass. Pump fakes. He's going to run up the middle, and he has room. He's going up the middle and dives for that. He dives towards the original line of scrimmage, actually, and gains a couple after that. And the rain is really coming down right now.
Yeah, rain is just continuing to come sideways here as you see it through the light system here at Bloomington North. But it has not bugged either team, and it's not kept the fans away either.
Trips to the left. Alejandro to the right. Here comes Hammonds as he's going to roll to the left. He's going to throw to Alejandro, and it's intercepted. And that's going to be brought right up to the 25-yard line, and that is Colin Weegar, the senior. He's been making plays all season, and he makes one right there.
Colin Weegar has made a lot of impact so far, and now there is flags as you see some extracurriculars between these two teams.
We did have sideline warnings from both teams, so that is something that we could be something to watch for. No, it's going to be a personal foul. And it's going to be on Columbus North. Looks like it was potentially a late hit. And that's going to... And that's going to give him an extra 15 yards, I believe, for first down.
And this is going to be...
And I think it's safe to say that the celebrating can probably begin for Bloomington North.
I think so, and it's been a couple of years since Bloomington North has won against this Columbus North squad. And
Lozano on the shotgun, hands it off to Miklich. I believe that's Miklich. Yep, to Miklich, and he gains a couple of yards. 2nd and 7 now for the Cougars.
You know, Quinn, we've covered North and Edgewood since 2013, and we've had 6 games so far, and 5 times the home teams win. That has been our most successful season we've had covering North and Edgewood football.
Absolutely, and the Cougars now are closing in on just being 1 win away from their first conference title. Hands it off to, that is going to be Miklish, who is, they will call him dead after being stuffed, maybe getting a yard, as that's going to be now 3rd and 5 with about 2 minutes and 22 seconds remaining.
Bloomington North not going to hurry with this clock. They're just going to churn it out.
Trip receivers to his left. Murphy in motion. Going to take it back. He's going to throw it deep down the sideline, and that is right through the hands of Dylan Barrow, who was wide open. A understandable drop in the rainy weather, and had to contort his body a little bit.
Dylan Barrows made a nice effort, man. Just a freshman. I mean, you got 2 impact freshmen on this team with Miklish and Barrow. He's done a nice job in his first year.
And here is Trilling with the punt. Going to get this one away, and it's going to get a nice little bounce for Bloomington North and goes out of bounds at around the 25-yard line. That leaves a minute 44 remaining here. And unfortunately, we are unable to get the Southport Terre Haute South score, but regardless, this case stands that regardless of that score, Bloomington North, they win next week, they at least get it. We know that they're at least getting a share of that of the first conference title.
Yeah, first time ever that they're really even, they've not won a Conference Indiana title yet. So what a big accomplishment for this Bloomington North squad. Their first guaranteed winning season since 2013. They go for the Conference Indiana title next week. Scott Bless beats his brother for the first time in 5 years. Looking for another sectional win since 2013, and the seniors go out with a big win on senior night.
Huffman gets the carry, does not go very far, gets about a 3-yard gain as it sets up 2nd and 7, as looks like the Columbus North Bulldogs are content with running down the clock. Hammond's in the shotgun. Hands it back to Huffman, who's going to get some nice yardage right there and get close to a first down. Going to be a little bit short. Set up 3rd and 1.
Yeah, under a minute to go right now here. And again, what a great win for Scott Bless and his Bloomington North squad going for that Conference Indiana championship.
And it looks like they actually did give them the first down, so the clock will stop with 44 seconds remaining.
Of course, they'll find out who they play in the state tournament on Sunday. They will be off the
Clock
first week of
continues now.
sectionals.
Hammonds tries to give it to Collier and unable to get it, but there's going to be a flag on the field. A late hit. Collier was hit quite a bit after not getting the catch.
Yeah, not a good play here for Bloomington North, but again, it's not going to really matter at this point. It's all over as Bloomington North's going to come out victorious. But again, penalties got to get cleaned up. I mean, they had over 100 yards last week against Roncalli. They've had several tonight. They've got to clean that up going into next week's big showdown with Southport.
And especially a penalty like that, which is completely unnecessary as well. Defense out there all fired up. looking back at the sideline at their teammates, knowing they're one win away from a piece of that conference title.
And you know that the one kid that really wants to be out there and can't be out there, and he's been on the sidelines of being a cheerleader, is Aaron Steinfeld.
Going to hand it off to Huffman, who's going to cut back up to the middle, and he gets a nice gain right there, 10 yards. Gets stopping the clock at 30 seconds remaining as the chains continue to move.
You know, one guy that they mentioned on defense, Ben Heitink, he was an offensive threat last year. He's gone basically all defense this year and has done a great job for the Cougars.
We are, the game clock and the play clock are basically identical, so that might be the last play for this game. And it is going to be, so that is going to be our final right now. That's going to do things here at Bloomington North. Take a look at the highlights. Here's Hammonds trying to find his man, and he does, as Collier showed up here in the second half after being shut out. There's the fumble, trying to give it handoff, which leads right here to this beautiful touchdown pass to Lothman, which basically put the game out of reach. And here's Hammonds throwing the interception to right there to Matt Friel. One of two interceptions from this defense, here being the second one. Oh, no, that one the catch by User. And then this one, the interception by Uyghur. As seniors had a ball tonight, as that will do it. Bloomington North wins 27-7 over Columbus North. For all the hardworking men and women behind the scenes, for Nick Jenkinson, I'm Quinn Saturday. Thank you so much for watching Bloomington North football on Smithville Sports.